Cost concepts and classification. Direct materials. Direct materials are raw materials that become part of a finished product and can be conveniently and economically traced to specific product. So, example, steel sheet used for automobiles. So, yung mga body or yung katawan ng automobiles is an example of raw materials. So, ang direct materials is malaki yung part niya sa finished product. So, kagaya na example na to, yung steel sheet na ginagamit sa sasakyan, dun sa katawan ng sasakyan is an example of raw material. And yung steel sheet sa mga automobiles is madali siyang matrace sa specific na product. Madali siyang makita or ma-distinguish dun sa automobiles. Another example is flour used for bread. So yung harina na ginagamit sa tinapay is an example of raw material. Leather uppers, rubber and plastic soles and laces used for shoes. So yung swelas, tsaka yung mga sintas ng sapatos is an example of direct material. Plastic used to make toys. So yung mga laruan is generally gawa siya sa plastic. So yung mga plastic is an example of raw materials kapag ang finished product ay toys o yung mga laruan. Wood used to make tables. Glass used to make windows. So ito yung mga example ng direct materials. Kung may direct materials, meron ding indirect materials. Indirect materials are materials and other production supplies that cannot be conveniently or economically traced to specific products. Examples are glue, thread, nails, rivets, lubricants, and small tools. So ito yung mga items na maliliit na mahirap na siyang matrace or ma-determine kung magkano yung glue or yung quantity ng glue, ng thread, ng pako, ng mga lubricants. So, hindi siya conveniently na matatrace sa specific product. But still, kasama siya sa cost ng product. Ginagamit siya sa pag-produce ng product. So, ito yung mga example ng indirect materials. Direct labor. Direct labor cost include all labor costs for specific work performed on products that can be conveniently and economically traced to products. So, kanina materials. Ngayon naman, labor. Ang direct labor is actually the compensation of employees and workers who physically convert raw materials into finished products. So, syempre, hindi naman mabubuo ang product kung walang mga employee or workers. So, yung sweldo ng mga empleyado or workers na mismong sila yung bumubuo ng product into finished goods, sila, yung sweldo ng mga employees na yon is an example or yun yung tinatawag na direct labor cost. Yung compensation ng workers who physically convert raw materials into finished goods is direct labor. Kapag may direct labor, meron ding indirect labor. Ang indirect labor naman ay indirect labor cost are labor cost for production-related activities that cannot be conveniently and economically traced to products. So, examples are salaries of machine helpers, plant supervisors and managers, forklift operators, maintenance labor, engineering, and other support personnel. So, ito naman, sila naman, yung indirect labor naman, yun naman yung labor cost na cannot be conveniently and economically traced to products. So, example, yung salaries ng machine helpers. So, syempre, para mabuo yung product, nangangailangan ng entity ng machine, yung makina na nag-ooperate para bumuo ng product into finished goods. So, syempre, may mga pagkakataon na nasisira yung machine. So, doon na papasok yung trabaho ng machine helpers. And yung machine helpers is hindi siya part or hindi siya yung tao na involved sa pagbuo ng raw materials. But, yung machine helpers is tinutulungan niya na mag-run or mag-operate pa rin yung machine na which is related sa pagbuo ng finished goods. So, yung sweldo ng machine helpers is an example of indirect labor. Plant supervisors and managers. So, yung mga plant supervisors and managers, hindi talaga sila yung mga employees na physically na nagko-convert ng raw materials into finished goods. Sila lang yung nagmamanage or nagsusupervise dun sa mga tao na actual na bumubuo ng raw materials into finished goods. So, considered sila as indirect labor kasi hindi naman sila totally involved sa pagbuo physically. Hindi naman sila yung gumagawa ng proseso ng pag-convert ng raw materials into finished goods. Sila lang yung nagmamanage and nagsusupervise. Forklift operators. So yung forklift, ito yung equipment na nagbubuhat ng mga item. So yung mga driver ng forklift is example of indirect labor. Maintenance labor, engineering labor, and other support personnel are also examples ng indirect labor. Manufacturing overhead or factory overhead. Manufacturing overhead or factory overhead includes all manufacturing costs that cannot be classified as direct materials or direct labor. So kapag ang cost is hindi nag-fall sa direct materials at hindi rin nag-fall sa category ng direct labor, siya ay manufacturing overhead or factory overhead. For example, indirect materials and supplies and indirect labor costs. So ibig sabihin, yung indirect labor and yung indirect materials na discuss kanina is an example of manufacturing overhead. Building maintenance cost. So ito hindi naman siya direct material, hindi rin naman siya direct labor. So siya ay manufacturing overhead, yung mga maintenance cost ng building. Machinery maintenance, property taxes, property insurance, depreciation of plant and equipment ng mga ginagamit sa production, rent expense, utility expense such as yung tubig, yung kuryente, yung internet, communication. So, isa na sample of factory overhead or manufacturing overhead. Kapag hindi nag-fall sa direct materials at hindi rin nag-fall sa direct labor, siya ay manufacturing overhead cost.